So, how'd everybody like the Game Awards? Sorry I brought it up. Forget I mentioned it. Yeah, how about, we won't talk about that. The one positive, though, we're still getting Fighter Pass character number 5. It's coming. It just didn't show up at Game Awards, alright? It was never guaranteed, alright? Leakers, whatever. Doesn't matter. We're still going to get Fighter Pass 5 eventually. It's coming. It's on its way. Don't worry. But what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Slackerz, bringing you guys our next matchup in the Everyone Is Here tournament. Let's get back on track, right? Maybe try to be a bit more positive. Yeah, again, last night not too great, but anybody that's viewing this for the first time, the results are already on screen. Damn it. Sorry. Okay. Well, that's spoiled. Okay. But basically, tournament, 100 characters get put in the tournament. Each day on the channel, I upload one of the matches from the tournament, and then we'll vote between the two characters in the matchup for the day. And that's a part of the rules, so let me just throw the rules up on screen for you guys real quick. So as you can see, there is the rule number 1 is a rule only because, look, anybody can be a character. It doesn't matter. You can vote for anybody you want. It's all for enjoyment purposes. If you like a character, vote for him. And it's a rule because assist trophies are in here, spirits are in here, characters that are just confirmed are in here. It's all good. No restrictions. Vote for whoever you want. As long as they're in the match for the day. It's all good. But another rule, you only get one vote per person. How do you vote? That is simple. Down in the comments, you simply type who your vote is for between one of the two characters in the matchup for the day. And then, you are allowed to vote for both, by the way. If you happen to really like both the characters, or if you just can't decide on who to vote for, it's all good. You just say both down in the comments. It's all good. But yeah, that is, those are a few rules. The last couple here, how the tournament plays out. It's a double elimination tournament, meaning a character has to lose twice before being officially eliminated. So, once we get to the results to determine the winner and loser of each matchup, if there happens to be a tie, I'm just going to flip a coin on camera. Fairest way to break a tie. And then each matchup, voting-wise, only lasts for 1 week. So as an example, today's Friday, meaning we'll get the results of today's matchup next Friday. That's how that works. So, that's out of the way. So we'll jump into the results and the matchup for the day. Well, I kind of already had the results spoiled a bit. If you looked in the loser bracket, you'll probably notice who lost. But, yeah, so the results from last week happened to be Crash Bandicoot taking on Bandana Waddle Dee. So, yeah, you can see who lost. So here's the results. Crash Bandicoot obviously ended up winning. 52 votes to just 28 for Bandana Waddle Dee. So congrats to Crash. Moves on to the next round of the winners bracket. Bandana Dee obviously still in the tournament. Just one more loss for Bandana Dee, and then he's done. He's goodbye, but Bandana Dee usually does pretty well in these tournaments, so I'm still expecting a pretty good run from him after this, but we'll see how the matches play out. But, yeah, that is it for the results, so we'll go to the bottom down here somewhere. There we go. Where's that? Where are we at today? Today's a good matchup. I kind of like this one today. Nightmare from Soul Calibur is taking on Crono from Chrono Trigger. Yes, I know the name is spelled wrong. There's no H in the character's name. I know there's only the H in the game title's name. Game title. Yeah, you know what I mean. So, those are the two characters in the matchup. So, let's jump into this, shall we? So, who's up first? Crono. Crono's would be a very cool, fun... Okay, that's good. That's working. Awesome. Crono would be an awesome character, first of all. Okay, let me point it out. He's another anime swordsman, right? We already have enough of those. We don't need any more. Well, okay. If we could set that point aside for a second, right? He is from an RPG, which was, at the time, back on the Super Nintendo, was like one of the best, well, maybe even the best RPG at the time. It did things that other RPGs didn't, like you could see the actual enemies on screen on the map as you're, the overworld, as you're running around. Enemies would actually pop up. But like the early Final Fantasy games, you'd actually run around and it would just be like a random interaction, like boom, pop up. Oh, there's the enemy. That's who I'm fighting. You could actually see the enemies on screen, which was actually a really cool concept. And so let's talk Crono here real quick. Crono has, I guess you could say, has a good sort of history with Nintendo, right? The franchise, though, let's point this out. The franchise is kind of dead at this point. Not, I mean, it is what it is. Square's not doing anything with the character, so it's not like Square's really itching to have somebody else use their character. It's not like that. It's not like Square wants to promote this guy currently. They have other franchises, other IPs, other characters that they'd much rather be like, hey, Smash Bros. Wants another one of our characters. How about this person instead of Crono? How about this person? Blah blah blah. They got so many different choices. So Crono, from a business standpoint, probably doesn't make too much sense unless the offer from Nintendo to get the character was just like really overwhelming. They're like, okay, we can't pass up that offer. Or two, it was just kind of like maybe there's a secret game in the works. Maybe there's a remake or a remaster or whatever it might be. Then I could maybe see this happening, but I don't think Crono honestly would happen. And plus, let's bring up the fact that, we can't even say it's a fact. It's more of a fan rule at this point. And who cares about fan rules? Those get broken all the time. But the fan rule being that the Fighter Pass, no one company will have multiple reps in at least the first Fighter Pass. We already have Hero from Dragon Quest, a Square character, already in there. So if we're going to go by fan rules, if that's what you want to bring up as an argument, Chrono's not going to happen for at least Fighter Pass character number 5, right? So the additional DLC, well, that's up in the air. Anybody's up for grabs, right? So maybe, but moveset wise, you can see a couple things on here. Cyclone attack basically summons like 2 cyclones and they kind of like swirl around. So that'd be kind of a cool, fun move somewhere in the moveset. He's got lightning. He's got his cleave attack. He's got his big sword. What is that? Wind slash up there. There's a lot of potential. I mean, you come from an RPG. You got a lot of. I don't want to say it's like a ready-made moveset, but you got a lot. You can really take a little bit of, like, inspiration from, and that's what's great. If you can come into Smash Bros with a moveset that's pretty much like in mind already, it's like, all right, I could make this, as neutral attack. I can make this a smash attack. I can make these tilt attacks. I can do this and this and this. I think it helps the character in a way. But would he be a fun character? Because, again, that was the Sakurai's whole thing, right? It's more important that the character be fun than recognizable. And maybe you could make the case that Crono's not recognizable. So would he be fun, right? And maybe he wouldn't be recognizable because, again, franchise is not doing anything currently. So would he be a fun character? I think you could be. Like, if you enjoy... I'll just use Hero as an example. If you enjoy that kind of play style, Crono would probably be pretty similar to that. Obviously, there's going to be differences in the moves and the attacks and how they all work and everything, but somewhat of a similar type of moveset. That's at least how I kind of envision it, but would be a pretty fun, like, blast from the past sort of thing. But again, business-wise for Square, it doesn't make sense to promote something that they themselves don't want to do, and Nintendo, if they're going to go for third-party characters, they can go for whoever they want. Because, look at Banjo, first of all. So I guess this isn't really an argument at all. But it's like, would Nintendo... I guess the argument I was trying to make was, would Nintendo really go out of their way to get, like, some third-party character that is, like, basically irrelevant? Banjo was irrelevant. Let's face it, I'm a big Banjo fan, but, like, he hadn't done anything in, 25 years? Okay, not that long. But Banjo hadn't done anything in a long time. And, hey, Nintendo's just like, let's do it. Let's go get Banjo. So that's pretty cool. So maybe they reached way back into the day of the Super Nintendo days and like, yo, Crono would be awesome. So, I don't know. Maybe. There could be a case to be made for Crono for sure. But another character you can make a case for. Excuse me. Nightmare from Soul Calibur. I love this guy. And I think he's really being slept on as a potential candidate for Smash Bros. DLC. So, first of all, the easy stuff. Let's moveset. Soul Calibur, the series he's from, is a fighting game. If you come from like an RPG, if you come from a fighting game, your moveset is already, you have the move pool, and then it's just determining, okay, how can I do this? What can I turn into a neutral special? Regular attacks, a grab, smash attacks. It's just kind of figuring out that, like, where to place the moves, and it's really not that difficult to come up with. Nightmare, and plus he's such a recognizable name. He's, to a lot of people, he's pretty much the face of the Soul Calibur franchise, which, by the way, let's also mention this. Soul Calibur, Bandai works on it, right? Can we go back to the whole argument? Bandai deserves a character in Smash Bros. The only playable character from Bandai we currently have, Pac-Man. Nothing wrong with Pac-Man. I love Pac-Man, but I'm just saying Bandai's helped him out so much with making Smash Bros. That's like, do they deserve a second rep? Yeah, I really think they do. But then again, maybe it was Nintendo picking it and Sakurai picked off the list, so maybe he didn't pick any Bandai characters. There was a whole thing about a article saying, alright, no, he only picked Pac-Man to kind of represent Bandai as a whole or something to that effect. I don't remember the quote exactly, but I don't know, maybe they relook at it for the DLC. Maybe Nightmare is something that kind of gets, maybe it's an idea, a character that gets tossed around. Would be a pretty fun character, big character, heavy character. Like this guy would sell himself, honestly. I truly believe he would. I'm a big, I can't say I'm a huge Soul Calibur fan, but I am a Soul Calibur fan. And if I were to be playing Soul Calibur and I happen to play Smash Bros. At the same time, and I could afford to buy a DLC character or the entire fighter pass for Smash Bros., and they happen to announce Nightmare, I'd be like, yeah, take my money. I'll buy that. I'll gobble that up. Give me. Right? So, Nightmare, he's got a badass design. Come on. You don't look at that. You don't look at his blade, and you don't look at his giant-ass sword and go, whoa, wait a minute. Who is this guy? Let me try this guy. So, that's another thing about characters. Even if you don't know who Nightmare is, I like making this point because a lot of people this is how people decide who to play. If you pick up a game for the first time, if you happen to pick up Smash Bros. For the very first time, and you happen just to see a quick little clip of Nightmare, and you go, I have no idea who this is. You're going to do two things. You're going to judge him based off of his appearance. That's what people do. That's how you do it. And you're going to base, and you're also going to base it off of his moveset. How is he working in the game? Appearance is a big thing, especially if you pick up the game for the first time. I know this is kind of a weak argument for DLC because you would have to buy the DLC, but I'm still kind of making a point here. Basically, if you see the character and you've never seen him, if you're seeing the character for the first time, you're going to look at him. I think most people would be like, okay, this is definitely something that we don't quite have on in Smash Bros. At least he looks different, all right? At least in my opinion, he looks pretty different from the normal humanoid. I mean, yeah, he's the humanoid, but he's different. He's different enough to where I'm like, all right, yeah, I'd give him a chance. But yeah, Nightmare, he's a big name character. Again, you don't have to be recognizable. You just have to be fun. Oh, what's up, Alpha? But ooh, I got a heart from Alpha too. But what was I doing here? I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, Nightmare, I think, would make a very fantastic addition. A character that's getting slept on. There's tons of potential for spirits from the Soul Calibur series. Plus, a little fun fact, Link was in Soul Calibur 2. GameCube exclusive. You know, anybody that played that game back in the day? Link against Nightmare again, rematch in Smash Bros. This time. I'm just saying, I'd be open to that. That'd be pretty dope. But I think you guys know who I'm voting for this one. Nightmare's got my vote hands down. I love Nightmare. I think he'd make a very fun, very enjoyable character. So, not to say that Crono wouldn't. I guess I have more of an attachment to Nightmare. That's pretty much how that comes down. So that is going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, a little sneak peek for tomorrow. Looks like we will have the matchup of Funky Kong, and Funky Kong's opponent happens to be Tracer from Overwatch. So we'll see how that match plays out. And then we will get the results of my favorite character, see if he wins or not. But it was Waluigi taking on Frisk, and the winner gets to face Crash. So good luck to the winner of that one, yeah. You get Crash Bandicoot. Good luck. Anyway, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully catch you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.